This is a question that came in from at IE Makaraig.
Okay.
Will RH bill introduce sex education to grade 5 students? This seems to be the worry of some senators.
Well, the RH bill, the House version, the HOR version, actually says grade 5. But we have to emphasize that this is age appropriate.
Okay.
Reproductive health education, no? But in the Senate, there is no starting point when the RH education will start, and therefore there is a difference there. Now, in terms of RH education, I think we have to emphasize that what the youth will know. One, it's age appropriate, so it's not about telling the kids how to do sex or what contraceptions to use, what contraceptives to use when they are in the grade school. It's really age appropriate, you know. And secondly, if you look at the bill, the enumeration of the topics that will be included in such an education would be values formation is the first one mentioned, and there is also rights of children and rights of women. There is decision making. There is the biological aspect of reproduction. I mean, these are things that we should know. What I personally think and believe is that the RH education is actually a way to teach our young people life skills that they need to be able to become productive citizens. This is not just, or this is really about equipping our young people to be responsible men and women in the future.
So
citizens.
can I ask you, if that's the case, why do the anti-RH people fight so vehemently against it?
Well, one, they say that it's going to be imposed. As far as I know, the House of Representatives, the authors of the bill in the House of Representatives have already included in their list of amendments
they did.
that opt out for
Yes.
parents have the right to opt out.
Okay. Lots of questions from at AM Mijares. Please explain why contraceptives is essential medicine when it's not in fact healthy, and follows up with, how would you explain there are contraceptives that are in fact abortive fashions?
Well, we have to, the first question first.
Yes.
Why is it essential medicines? Even the World Health Organization, in their list of essential medicines, actually include all contraceptives. For us, it's important that contraceptives and other family planning commodities be listed as essential medicines, because this is the list that's regularly purchased by government, so it becomes accessible and accessible to those who need and want it. One. Two, contraceptives as abortifacients. Well, if you look at the WHO list of essential medicines, the category for contraceptives is different from the category of abortifacients.
Yes.
So they are very distinct, and therefore what we are fighting for is for contraceptives to be available here. The problem with some who oppose the RH bill is that they think and they believe that a sperm is alive, or and things like that. Even not only the World Health Organization, but the experts here in the country have actually issued a statement saying that available contraceptives act before fertilization.
Yes.
And if it's before fertilization, what is abortion there? Even if you believe
I see.
that life starts at fertilization.
Okay. From at Peanut Gallery, they don't want to introduce sex ed, but we have teenage mothers in
Yeah.
heaps. When
Yeah.
do we educate them?
Yeah, it's very depressing. The data on that is very depressing. It's over 200,000 a year.
Teenage.
Young girls, having pregnancies and childbirth. And I want to underscore that these are high-risk pregnancies because the bodies of girls are not yet ready for pregnancy and childbirth.
From at RHAJ Santos, anti-RH are claiming the contents of the bill are already in the Magna Carta for women. Is that true? What's your comment?
Well, let me say this. The Magna Carta for Women is a general law. It contains all sorts of rights of women. Political rights, right to representation, women in sports, women in farming, agriculture, etc., etc. And there is one, I should say, that there is one provision there that speaks of women's right to health. I was the one who actually proposed the title of that portion of the law. And that encompasses some things in the RH bill. It's a list of family planning, maternal health, but closely look at the Magna Carta. There are no concrete provisions in terms of how to do these things.
Yes.
All these things are in the RH bill. And let me emphasize that the Magna Carta is not only, but it's solely for women because it's the Magna Carta of women.
Correct.
So what about the young men? What about the fathers who want to be vasectomized, So these things are not contained in the Magna Carta of women. Secondly, the RH bill contains a lot of provisions not in the Magna Carta. For instance, regular maternal mortality review, which is very important para hindi na tayo nag-aaway-away. Ilan ba ang namamatay every year or every day, no? This will help us straighten our data and also help us address the issue of maternal mortality. Outside of that, there is upgrading of hospitals and facilities. There is training of more health providers. There is mobile health clinics. There is RH services for indigent women. There is RH services for persons with disabilities. There is the RH bill actually clarifies the implementing mechanisms. The RH bill also speaks of prohibited acts.
Okay.
And the RH bill provides for resources for all these things.
After 17 years, the pros and cons of reproductive health have really been dissected, debated, distorted through this, right? And you're right in pointing out that we are now at a critical moment.
Exactly.
What needs to happen at this moment now?
Well, at the Senate, I think both houses are in the period of amendments, right? But at the Senate, Senator Soto has to finish his speeches, and then they will go through the period of amendments. At the House, it's very sad because the anti-RH legislators are actually, trying everything.
They're filibustering right now.
Yeah,
it's been 2 straight days of privileged
I wrote
speeches.
about this, actually, that they will use all these privileges. They will use the quorum. They will always question the quorum. So what needs to happen now, I think, is for the House pro-RH bloc to really work together, make sure that they are there, present, so quorum is not questioned, and stay, because quorum can be questioned any time of the day. And secondly, the House leadership, I think, should exercise political will in terms of making sure that the rules are not only followed, but abuses on the rules will be minimized or eliminated. The other thing is that we have such a short time, and since the president has mentioned this in his SONA and has made his position very clear, to the members of the House of Representatives. How I wish the president, can do something more.
It was a very tepid mention in the SONA. He didn't even mention reproductive health.
Yeah,
at
but
all.
because the reproductive health bill is really entitled Reproductive Health and Responsible Parenthood, and since campaign he was using responsible parenthood.
Okay.
But well, he did something else.
Yes.
He called
He
the
did.
legislators.
Yes.
I think what will ensure the passage of the reproductive health bill is if the president actually certifies the bill as urgent, because then both houses will have to really work on the passage of the bill.
If it doesn't pass this Congress, what does the nation lose?
A lot. That will only mean, more women dying because of more poor and young women dying of complications in childbirth. It will mean more young girls getting pregnant at very early age, and of course compromising their futures. It will mean that HIV and AIDS will be a bigger problem. It will mean, of course, that families who want to overcome poverty will continue to have difficulties in doing so. The RH bill is really for the country.
Why has the president not named it an urgent priority?
Before, they said that there are requirements before a bill can be certified as urgent, but I believe that the same has been, these requirements have been fulfilled by the RH bill. So perhaps the president can consider.
Okay, your last words, Beth. It's actually D-Day in a way for
Yeah.
people like you, right? For people who want the bill to pass.
Yeah.
What do you plan to do now? And you have basically August, correct?
Yeah. Well, yes. Basically, we have August and a bit of September.
Okay.
I hope, because in September they will do the GAA, the budget, and October will be official start of the election season. So the call really is for the legislators now, because the people have repeatedly spoken, and the women have repeatedly spoken that they need and want the RH bill to pass. Actually, what groups are doing now is that we're also starting to look at the positioning of those who will run for the 2013 elections. And as early as now, people are listing down those that are pro-RH that they will campaign and vote for, and those who are against RH that they will campaign against and not vote for. Because the struggle really does not end with the passage of the RH bill. We have to protect it. If it passes, we have to protect it. We have to have more pro-RH in Congress, because there are anti-RH legislations in Congress,
Right.
and we also have to guard those.
Fantastic. Beth Angshoko, thank you so
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
joining us.
Thank
We've
you.
been speaking with Beth Angshoko on a very contentious RH bill in D-Day times. If you have been watching, listening, please send more questions, comments to @rappler.com, @Beth Angshoko. She
Yes.
is on Twitter. She will also, we'll ask her to answer any other questions you may have, like post on our Facebook page. These are the final days. Let your voices be heard, weigh in. It has been 17 years. The country, according to Beth, stands to lose a lot if your voice isn't heard. Thanks, I'm Maria Ressa. Join us again